Guys, something bad happened this week.
Something about you? You okay?
It affects me, regardless. It makes me sad. Not too sad, but I'm a little sad. Naughty Dog did what we all eventually thought was going to happen, and they delayed Uncharted 4. Mm-hmm. Of course, everybody knows this. And it's not that big of a surprise, because a game of this scale and a game that everybody expects of Naughty Dog, coming out this soon. I mean, the trailer was shown last E3. The first gameplay was shown at PSX a couple of months ago. Mm-hmm. Nobody really thought it was coming out this year. I prayed and I was in denial. I kind of hoped it would, but it's perfectly fine. Did you know about this?
No, I didn't. But
okay. You know what Uncharted is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was supposed to be coming out this holiday, but was delayed until 2016.
I just I can't even trust game companies anymore for release dates, because most huge games get pushed back or they come out way too early and they're awful and they're not playable for.
Exactly. I'd prefer them to be pushed back.
Exactly.
I agree, but I don't think they keep throwing out all these release dates and they're like, oh, we're just a few months.
It's all about the hype.
Yeah, exactly.
Batman was BS. They claimed that game was going to come out last November. They knew good and well that
it was
game
supposed to come out last October or September.
They
I think.
almost delayed it a year practically. Yeah. They knew good and well that game wasn't coming out. Yeah. So
I agree. I would much rather be delayed than them pull a Master Chief Collection where you can't play it.
Yeah.
They should have just delayed it. And
I don't know the exact words, but Miyamoto has a quote that he says a delayed game can always be good, but a bad game is forever bad.
Exactly.
So it's better. It's better.
Agree.
The Last of Us was delayed.
And look what happened. They said in that last couple weeks they had where it was delayed, they said it changed the whole
They said
game.
it really brought it together.
Yeah.
From that, I watched the documentary. I think you're referring to. Mm-hmm. I think they said in the documentary that it took the last couple of weeks that they really polished that game. So.
Patience is a virtue. It's people rushing to get these games out just to make money quicker when they'll make more money in the long run if they end up
it actually works.
They come out with a Game of the Year edition, then it's it's ridiculous.
Of course, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
And I'm not saying
there's a lot of stress that goes into it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stuff with the Master Chief Collection. I'm not saying everything is on them, but to a certain extent, that was
we can still point that finger though.
Yeah, it was pretty awful.
It was pretty bad.
I was so excited to play that game, and after the first week, I'm like, all right, I'm still kind of excited. Then 2 months later, I'm like, I'm not excited.
Yeah, I've been playing it the last few nights though, and it works, and I'm loving it. But those first 2 months, I was like, this is hilarious.
I wonder if, to kind of take a sidetrack to just kind of talk about games being released too soon. I wonder if people release games and they're kind of just crossing their fingers, that they're just I hope this works.
Yeah. I'm sure it is, especially when it comes to games that are huge on multiplayer, when they aren't sure. You can't have the huge test of how the servers are gonna do until the world floods onto them.
Exactly.
They try to do that with betas, but you still
they can only get so much.
Everybody does betas now either.
Yeah.
Destiny was the only last giant game that had an alpha and a beta, and you could tell because when that game released, I didn't have any problems.
I had a little bit of problems the night I bought it, but other than that,
connecting because the whole world's finally, but once you're on, it didn't mess up.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, with the DDoSing and stuff like that, it kind of messed it up here and there. But for the most part, having alphas and betas have proven to work.
Oh yeah,
and I think more games need to do that, especially new games. Call of Duty's got it down to an art.
Yeah.
They don't need to do it anymore.
I agree.
Call of Duty 4 had a beta. World at War had a beta. That's the last one.
What was it? Both the Bad Company games and I think Battlefield 3. I remember playing those betas, noticing things that were wrong, and then when the game came out a few months later, I was like, they fixed everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And that was and I actually played the betas on all of those.
I think Hardline had a beta too.
Yes. Yeah, it did. And they learned that because Battlefield 4, it had a beta. But it was it wasn't a long beta an open beta.
I feel that beta was more just to get people excited.
People assume betas are demos these days, where nobody, and I'm guilty because I don't. Betas are made to improve games. They're made to go on forums and say this is what's wrong with that game. And I'm guilty because when I see beta, I'm like, oh crap, I got to play this game early. I treat it as a demo, whereas it's really serious to these developers because for the most part, When they put beta in front of their name, it's wanting to improve it. If they want to just show the game, it's a demo. They're two different words. So, but yeah, I am sad, but it's bittersweet. I am happy that it is delayed because there are so many games coming out. Like we talked about last week, there's so many games coming out this holiday season that it's really nice to kind of have a break on a game like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if some of the major titles would get, it's like this past fall, would get like split up. It would be nice if we had some games to play during the summer. I feel like a lot of the times.
That's my one wish for gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad at least Batman's coming out this summer. Yeah. And technically,
Yeah.
The
And
Witcher, you could consider spring, but I consider May like
I can
consider
that
summer.
summer because that's when I'm off school.
That's when school officially stops and stuff.
Yeah, that's why May's the best month of the year.
And
Think about it. Think about everything that is coming out in May. We have the Avengers: Age of Ultron. I know it's a movie, but we have that. We have The Witcher 3. We have Persona 5. And there's probably a bunch of other cool stuff that comes out in May. Everyone's happiest in May. I have a firm belief in that because it's the beginning of summer. Everyone's getting out of school. You have a whole summer. Well, when you're in school, a whole summer break ahead of you. Just the weather's beautiful, and you can like go to the beach and stuff.
It's not too hot yet.
Yeah, and you don't have to look. You don't even worry about school for like 3 months. That's why I think it's the best month of the year.
Yeah, it's a good month, and especially with The Witcher 3 coming out in May. That's just a fantastic month. I think the Wolfenstein is coming out in May too.
The DLC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just the standalone kind of expansion thing.
Oh, okay.
I forgot the name of it. Do you remember?
Old Blood.
Something.
Going off of the New Order, or
yeah, it's
okay,
like a prequel.
I haven't heard anything about
it's
it.
a prequel.
No,
It's like
I
$20.
loved playing that one.
You don't even have to
it's
own the
amazing.
game either
No,
to
so
download
No,
the
are you
expansion.
serious?
Yeah, you can just download it.
Dude,
So get that
game was a
PS4 and
blast.
download it.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. Not that it really even matters to me because I mean, both you and me both own an Xbox One and PS4. You're not biased at all.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care either. None of us are biased here. But the fact that this holiday season Xbox One has Halo 5 and Tomb Raider coming to Xbox One, would you think PS4's big like fall/holiday season game that's gonna like people are gonna be like, I need to go get a PS4 this year?
Funny
they
you
have
bring
one?
that up because that was the main reason of me even bringing this up. Bringing up Uncharted 4's delayed isn't really a monumental thing because a lot of people were thinking about that. But upon thinking about that, you're right. What is PlayStation bringing to the table this holiday season?
Unless there's something being announced at E3 that like blows people's minds, then I have no idea.
Exactly. They don't have anything right now.
Yeah, as of right now, all they have is
Bloodborne.
That's coming out, and that's coming out in
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have a plan. I mean, they just sold I believe 20 million consoles.
Yeah.
They have a massive user base right now,
Yeah.
which is, it's good for multi-platform games and stuff. Destiny's doing fantastic on PS4. All these multi-platform games are doing awesome on PS4 and stuff. But man, Xbox is really hitting it hard this holiday. I mean, Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is I no doubt is going to be an amazing game.
Yeah. And Halo just has a huge following as well.
So that's going to sell millions of copies. And I believe Tomb Raider will sell millions because the first Tomb Raider, it sold millions.
Yeah.
And that was a really good game. Did you play it?
No.
It was
awesome.
I'll be
it was
there
a
day
great
one for
game.
sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to play Tomb Raider. I'm not gonna lie.
Especially
I'm gonna
since-
have to now, especially since Uncharted isn't coming
Exactly.
out.
That's kind of good. The people that like have both systems, that's like a good like a big enough difference in time between when Uncharted difference in time. A big gap.
It's a must.
It's like me saying a must need instead of a necessity. That's another story.
It's a good gap in time between Uncharted and Lara Croft climbing rocks and stuff.
Dude, how crazy would it be if like at E3 they came out and said like Star Wars Battlefront was like exclusive to PS4 or something crazy like that? It won't because it's like EA or whatever, but like or like something just like
that game. I'm excited.
If that even does come out this year.
Sony isn't. I mean, they're kind of stupid. They've done really stupid stuff. Like the E3 in 2006, which is like the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that was like the worst press conference.
What was
ever.
so bad about it?
It was that when they unveiled the PlayStation 3, they said it was $600, which everybody was like,
The whole place was just like dead silent.
yeah, and they showed like the stupidest demos of like stabbing this crab in the chest, and then they showed Ridge Racer. And they just did all this stupid. It's hilarious. Look it up on YouTube, like E3 2006.
I'm watching the crowd's reaction.
Oh, it's so
Ridge
funny.
Racer.
Compared to 2 years ago at Sony Sony's E3 conference, which was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire
agree,
life.
yeah.
I've never watched an E3 conference and was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
When they came out and said that they were like, PS4 doesn't have to stay online, and people were like ripping their shirts off, and they're like, and it takes used games, and people were just like, and then they're like, and it's $400.
Yeah, the whole world like exploded.
It was up until about that moment where I was like a hardcore Xbox fanboy because I had the original Xbox like since it came out, the original Halo and everything, and I was like Xbox. Then I saw that. Then I saw you guys playing your PS4. I'm like, never mind, Sony's okay.
Yeah, that E3 conference was just mind blowing.
You couldn't even defend Xbox after that.
Oh,
because you're just like, we control your life now, and
Yeah.
Sony's like, you can do whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I mean they definitely Xbox shot themselves in the foot.
I completely, yeah.
They're getting backed up. They've got some good exclusives.
Seriously though, think about it. Consider all their exclusives they have right now that are all diverse. Like I'm trying to think of all of them.
There's
First
one that
of
came
all,
out of like last week, Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah,
that's
I've heard
one.
that's
I've heard that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm gonna get that
That
soon.
Sunset Overdrive, which is like a crazy,
That's
wacky
I
open
think that's
world
an
game.
underrated game. Granted, I never play it, but I've heard it's really good. But I hear nobody talk about that game.
Me neither.
I don't hear.
It's like the
anybody
closest
talk
thing we
about
had to
that
like a Tony Hawk kind of game now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have
I
that.
guess.
They have Halo. They have Tomb Raider coming out. They have Forza, which is a very successful racing game. Like all their exclusives they have are very diverse. I mean, I know like PlayStation has some exclusives, but like they're not that different from each
okay,
other.
because I couldn't even tell you the last time I played this, but how does Gran Turismo match up to Forza?
It's
I haven't played
it
Gran Turismo
depends.
since PS2.
It depends on.
Because
who
I
you're
feel like if it
talking
was a
to.
close match, Forza took it after they came out with Horizon and started doing the free roaming
That's
stuff.
more arcadey. Whereas Gran Turismo is more.
But
simmy.
Forza having that and still bringing out track games
Yeah.
is like.
Like
No,
that-
I watched Andy play Forza for hours. I was like, this game's amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
And now Forza's releasing with Fast and Furious, the Fast and Furious bundle.
Yeah,
they
that's
got,
really
they
cool.
got, they got,
That's smart.
They got
That's very
with the
smart.
guy who does all the cars in the movies, and he's been doing them for the past 15 years, 16 years.
That was a great
and he's
idea.
helped design all of them. And they're even releasing cars in that pack that are going to be in the new movie that like haven't been released yet.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, they're smart. They're definitely stepping up with their exclusives. And Sony, as much as I love Sony, they're dropping the ball on these exclusives.
They really are big
Definitely.
time.
The Order, I enjoyed it immensely. That's not the game that the reception of that game isn't, what they wanted. Infamous Second Son, great game. Not the reception they really, really wanted. These are it's like Sony is still putting out their launch titles per se. They need that Uncharted 4 to come. They need something.
That's the
more.
one game that if I didn't have a PS4 already, that's the game I was like, I need to buy a PS4 for that. But currently, without that game, if I had bought the Xbox One before the PS4, there was nothing that would necessarily entice me to I need that console right now.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong, I love my PS4. I know you guys like your PS4s a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, if I'm being completely honest, if I didn't have one, there isn't really a specific game or franchise that makes me want to go out and buy one.
Exactly.
And I feel like
Definitely.
because of that reason, their E3 conference this year is like
It's
biggest
it's
one
crucial.
to watch.
Yeah,
it's
like,
crucial.
Like I
It
feel
is.
like they know everything that's happening with Xbox, and I feel like it's like building up, and it's all gonna bust at E3, and I feel like they're gonna drop like
There's
for
so
the
many
holiday season.
studios that haven't announced what they're working on yet. And it's been 2 E3s without some of their announcements and stuff. It was confirmed at PSX that God of War is in development. I don't know if it's too early to see that, but that is something PlayStation needs. We need a God of War. Guerrilla Games, the people who made Killzone, is working on a giant open world RPG. They've been working on that for a while. That'd be great to have a PS4 exclusive open world RPG. That's really good, and I think Guerrilla Games is a good company. I really enjoyed Shadowfall.
Yeah,
Shadowfall.
you and me had a ton of fun
That's
with
a
the online
great
multiplayer.
game. It's not it's not the best first-person shooter I've ever played, but I had a ton of fun playing that game, and I definitely would put that at the top of the PS4 games for sure.
Yeah,
One of
definitely.
them, definitely. But
Was
yeah,
that the title that came out right when the PS4 did?
yes.
Yeah.
I remember watching
It was the
play
shooter
that
they were
and
playing.
watching the rain effects
Yes.
on building. and
Yeah,
the game was
that game was-
I could have watched
yeah.
the rain in that game for an hour.
I still
Yeah.
think that game is one of the best looking games on
Oh
the
yeah,
PS4.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
so good. And it's fun too. We would play it multiplayer. The multiplayer was awesome.
It was
so
fun.
We would tear it up.
I remember
in
when
that
they
game.
got
Yeah.
that and me and you started playing Ghost, and I would walk in and look at him and be like, wow, that game's so pretty, and I'd walk out and me and you'd be like raging on
Kicking holes
Ghost.
in the tables.
I remember you were like, dude, why don't you just get Ghost? And I'm like, oh, I don't have that much money right now, but I was like, but I have nothing else to play. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go with you to midnight release. I get it. An hour later, I'm like, F the
the world. Why
Dude,
did
I
I buy this
remember
game?
the day-
Biggest waste of
Shit,
money. I've never seen anybody drop a game so fast in my life.
I
That
remember
night
the
you
very
were
last
pissed
thing
off.
you ever did on Ghost was, and you'll remember this too. You can, it was when you were playing and you were, I don't remember what map it was. It was like that shotgun that you like stick the tube in, and someone shot you with it from like
The harpoon!
Yeah, they shot you with it like from like a mile away, and you're like, "What was it? A whale harpoon?" And you just like threw the controller and turned it off, and that's the last time you played
I
it.
played Ghost.
Oh man,
Shot like a
whale
harpoon.
God, so stupid.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yes, Sony's gotta have something this holiday, and if they don't, like, I mean, what's the point of getting a PlayStation besides preparing for Uncharted? There's really not.
Yeah.
I mean, Xbox has got Halo 5. You know, their franchise. That is their franchise.
Completely.
And they've got Tomb Raider, which
Dude,
isn't-
and at some point they're having Gears of War come out too.
they're probably going to show something of your.
Oh yeah, I certainly hope so. I'm pumped
Yeah.
for that.
I mean, Sony isn't stupid. I know I say that, but they've done stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But man, they are on fire right now. They really are. I know, granted, these studios that are releasing games, they don't own. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't think they own Ready at Dawn Studios.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had like. I mean, I'm pretty sure they own Killzone. I know they own those IPs and stuff, but they haven't had like their first party like big dogs release something yet, like Santa Monica, Naughty Dog, you know, something of that caliber. The people that made Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, The Last Guardian, that game that people are like, where the heck is it? If they could announce that game this E3 and be like, it's coming out in November, that'd be pretty awesome. Or if God of War was coming out, or even an Uncharted trilogy HD pack for PlayStation 4.
I think we can expect that.
That would be awesome. Sorry, Uncharted's delayed. Here's a freaking every single one like
It's kinda
upres,
like-
60
Yeah,
frames
I
per
bet
second.
that's
Yeah,
probably
that'd be
almost
awesome.
guaranteed. I bet
I
that
hope.
might even be half. I mean, I'm sure they have like half their team working on something like that, and the other half the team like working on Uncharted 4. But I bet that's something that might have even played a small role
Yeah,
in it
dude, if
being
they
delayed.
come out with
Maybe.
an anniversary type pack like Halo, but not obviously have the problems that Master Chief Collection did, then that's like already people are like, oh, well, this is way better.
That'd be awesome. With the
Yeah.
multiplayer included and everything, I'd buy it because I love those games.
I still got to play Uncharted 3.
Yeah, that's
and
a fantastic
technically one.
game.
I
I
still have
only
to play
played
the
two.
first one, so.
First one's second one is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Third one is really good too. I know a lot of people say the third one's better, but I think the second one's better. Third one is still phenomenal, but I still think the second one's the best one. But yeah, I'll also kind of thrown it in here with Sony. Another thing is the Project Morpheus is coming out in 2016. I believe early to like mid-quarter 2016.
I've heard great things
I've-
about Morpheus.
I've
not
heard nothing bad.
I've heard not a thing. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Project Morpheus
man.
is PlayStation's virtual reality headset.
Oh,
It's like the.
The
Oculus
Rift. Yeah, I know that. I know
But
that.
it just plugs in your
I've heard
PlayStation.
from multiple
And it's just a
sources
head?
that it's
Is it just a
superior
headset?
to the.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
it's
a thing in your head. And
the
you
thing
strap.
that I've read that's really interesting about it. They say it's hands down the most comfortable VR headset because it doesn't rest on your face.
Yeah, it's like a
It's
screen.
like
that's
a welder mask.
That's
It just
awesome.
comes
That's
down
awesome.
and it hovers there.
Anytime I think about any of this, I think about the movie Gamer, and that's what I hope the future ends up.
with
as.
Gerard Butler.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never saw that movie.
Are you serious?
pretty
It was
cool.
like the movie wasn't like, oh god, that was amazing. The action was
yeah.
pretty good, but the whole concept was enough to keep you going the whole time. Of like the
Gotcha.
kid playing this virtual reality game. It was so cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're hopefully, and that's what's exciting is about virtual reality. That's like something you think of as a kid, and there's
Oh, I
like,
know.
So there's the Oculus Rift. There's that that Valve one, Vivo or some weird name. Yeah, everybody knows what we're talking about. I have the biggest brain farts when I actually talk about stuff. But they're coming out with one. HTC is working on one, which I think that's the one. I think Samsung was working on
Yeah,
one.
Samsung is.
Yeah, there's so many VR headsets and they're all really good. But I've heard that like some people have complaints of the Oculus, how it like feels like it's just like squeezing your head and stuff because it's got to stay up there. A lot of people get disoriented and stuff. But like I said, or like you said with the what's it called?
Oculus Rift, the Morpheus.
Project Morpheus.
Project Morpheus. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, I've heard that is actually farther in development than the Oculus Rift is.
Well,
Like,
think
that
about
better quality, better everything.
Yeah, think about
so
the
far.
difference in it's like a giant company that's been making hardware for freaking years. I mean, like think about
I mean,
how many things
Oculus
Sony's
does have
made.
Facebook now, but still, they don't exactly know what they're doing.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have.
that's
They
their
definitely have
first
the
physical
funding
thing
they
they've ever
need, but
made.
like they still got to make it work like really well. I mean, I know it works, but
I'm
they got
still
to make it
interested
awesome.
to see what Facebook does with it.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
Do not to go too deep into the topic, so we don't like talk about the same topic for like 45 minutes, but have you heard Max Scoville's kind of like demo he played of them with the Morpheus, like
Yes.
the secret agent game or whatever?
Yes.
Like he said it was so cool.
He's the one that was telling me, where he said that he had I did hear that, I actually listened to that today, I think, that he got a lot of motion sickness. And he's not the only one I've heard say this. This is like a common thing, but he would get really woozy.
From other headsets though, not the Morpheus.
Not the Morpheus though, because he said he would stand up and like
feel
it was
totally
completely
fine.
seamless and stuff.
Yeah, like he said, like he would be sitting down, like the demo starts sitting down, and someone in the room you're with is like, stand up, and you like stand up, and like you stand up in real time in the game. It isn't like an animation on screen as you're standing up. It's like literally you getting up and like looking around.
Awesome.
And he said, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff he does, but at one point, like, these guys bust in a room, and he literally, like, nothing around him. He's, like, in an open room. There's nothing in the room with him, but on the screen, he's, like, in this room with, like, cover, and he, like, gets down behind the cover, and in the room, obviously, there's
so
nothing
cool.
there. But, like, he's getting shot and stuff, and, you know, like, in video games, you have to, like, pop up and shoot and stuff. Well, he said he could literally just, like, go like this and shoot guys, and he said he could, like, peek over the edge, and there's, like, nothing in front of him in real life. I'm like, this sounds so
awesome.
cool.
I also read, because he has 2 move controllers in his hands.
Yeah.
I read, I don't think he said this, but I read somebody else playing the exact same demo, that to, like, reload your gun, you would actually take the clip and, like, put it up.
That's
into
so
the
cool.
gun.
That's
It's like an
awesome.
animation.
And that's what it was in that gamer movie. That's exactly the type of stuff.
Yeah,
it was.
if we're moving towards, of course, if I buy a nice TV, I want to use the TV, but to have like, especially like indie games and stuff, if I know PlayStation is very accessible for these indie developers to get their game on the console.
Yeah, they definitely proved that.
Yeah, but if they can keep that going and get all these, really cool experiences for the Oculus Rift, like
You mean
sounded
the
like
Morpheus?
Arnold Schwarzenegger right there. Oculus Rift. If they could get like really cool, like unique experiences on the Oculus Rift,
Are we still
games-
talking about the Morpheus or the Oculus?
Both.
the Morpheus?
Because you're confusing me.
I'm sorry, the Morpheus. I get Morpheus and Oculus. They kind of sound the same.
Same
kinda.
thing.
Same thing. If PlayStation can put that experience that's on the PC of downloading games specifically made for the Morpheus by indie developers that are just really cool, like experiences and stuff, I think it'll take off. Like,
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Especially
Especially if they're
they
like
keep
cheap to download and stuff.
oh yeah, for sure. If Morpheus goes above $500, they're gonna lose, I think, a big majority of the market that
Yeah.
they kind of won't. Because you're buying the PlayStation for $400. I don't think you want to spend more than that for a peripheral to use with the PlayStation.
So with the
I
Morpheus,
think-
Plus,
I
you
think an
don't know if
appropriate
you're
price
gonna
would-
be like able to use this thing. Like maybe
Exactly.
someone will get motion sickness, but the other person won't. Like,
or
how are you supposed to know that before you buy it?
for an example, the PlayStation Move. This was promised. This is amazing and stuff. Where did the use of it go?
that's the
Yeah, the
Light up
wand,
wands.
the light up wands, which were really good. They worked amazing. My uncle had some, and they worked really
way
good.
better than the first Connect. The thing was.
Such
Connect
garbage.
sucked.
The one right now isn't even that great.
Yeah,
I literally would wave in my TV for 30 minutes trying to swipe screens, and I don't even know what games I would on. I would just get pissed off and turn it off. Be like, I'm so tired of just trying to move to the next page.
That's a good example though. Like Connect and stuff, it was bundled with the Xbox One and
Yeah.
stuff. Nobody uses it. So how are you going to convince somebody that they have to buy this $400, $500, $100 piece of software? And how do you know if it's going to be supported and stuff like that?
I think more importantly, the developers don't use the new Connect, so like,
Yeah, I mean that's
not even they care about it.
exactly. So and I think that people are passionate about the Oculus Rift and stuff because if it's the Kinect was crap from the start, it doesn't work that good. It's very rarely used good. But if the Morpheus is as good as people are saying it is and stuff, that should entice developers to want to make it. So I think the better product you have, developers are gonna want to take advantage of it more than being pushed on like you have to use the Kinect, you have to use the Kinect,
Yeah,
and they're like,
exactly.
oh crap, I don't know.
But I mean, when it comes down to like making people want to buy it, it's going to be like people like us who are going to have to product test it first, or even places like Best Buy where it's the only way you're going to know is until you just have to try it on yourself.
I mean,
or trust a review.
or trust a review. Yeah, exactly.
And based on this is all prototype stuff.
Yeah.
So as of now, I'm buying it.
Yeah, because that's another thing that blew my eyes. That all the things he was telling me, I was like, not only is that amazing, but it's like they're still considering it the prototype phase.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
So,
that's unbelievable.
if
Just
it's-
to walk around in virtual reality is amazing to me, and I'd buy it for that.
Yeah, I can't wait till the
It's
point where I
cool.
actually get to try these things out.
Oh yeah, for sure. 'Cause
I've wanted a first-person sports game in virtual reality for so long, it is not even funny.
I don't know if they'll ever make like a full-on one.
Imagine just
but
like
I'm
a
sure
basketball
somebody-
game.
Exactly, where you just shoot hoops, and then
That'd be
I could
awesome.
just play in the NBA.
With
I
the
don't have to feel
PlayStation
bad about
Move
my
stuff,
life.
that'd be
The thing
awesome.
is, how
Downward
realistic
spiral.
could you make that? Because you can't be physical with these things.
Well, I
If
mean,
you
what if
have
you
the
just like can
PlayStation
shoot free
Move,
throws?
you
Like
can.
Yeah,
that's what's
download
cool
like
about
a
the
free
Move.
throw game for like 99 cents.
Like
on the
Garrett
store.
was saying in that demo, like he was going through drawers and picking up keys and stuff. It's like you can do stuff with your hands.
I'm
with
talking about
these
like a
moves.
basketball game though, with like other people that are wearing these.
No,
headsets.
okay, yeah, no.
This is a little
that's
advanced.
what I said. Is I
Yeah.
don't think that a full-on game. I think,
Right.
like you said, these little mini experiences.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
that
Yeah.
would work for
How
sure.
cool would it be though to put on your thing and you're in a park
Or like
and
a
you can just
driving
pick up
range
a
or something?
basketball. You can just
Yeah,
pick up
that'd
a
be amazing.
basketball and shoot.
Or we could just
Cool.
go right outside and do it for real. But
Or you
still.
could, but yeah, it's just
Guys,
Thing
who
is,
wants to do that?
thing is, what if you're
Be
you're outside, you're tripping over shit because you
Yeah,
can't see.
and it's raining.
Well, it probably
On
tells
a
you,
rainy
like-
day, the Morpheus will be there for you to shoot
Yeah.
hoops.
Exactly. But yeah, regardless, bringing this full circle,
I can already see someone like playing like a FIFA simulator, like where you shoot penalty kicks or something. And you're like, don't realize how close you are to like furniture
Oh,
or
yeah,
TV, like
dude.
kick a lamp or a table over or something.
well, don't have to worry about that with the Morpheus because it doesn't use, it's not like the Connect. It doesn't pick up your body
That's
and
true.
stuff. The only reason it picks up the Move is because of the lights.
Yeah, I don't know where I
From
got
the
the
camera.
idea
Just 'cause
of
it's
it picking up your
Connect.
body from.
If Xbox did it, then yes,
Yeah.
that would make sense. But yeah, Sony's got to bring it. To bring it up, I don't think anybody's super sad that Uncharted's delayed. It actually makes me kind of happy now that I think about it.
We can trust
I'm
that it's
fine
going to
with
be
it.
phenomenal.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
amazing. If it's not amazing, then
That's why I feel so good about
It's
Fallout.
not.
Whenever Fallout happens, is just
Yeah.
because
we've talked about that.
You missed our
Yeah.
Fallout.
You missed our
talk.
Fallout Palooza. But yeah, if that doesn't come out this year, then I'm really gonna be
Whenever
sad.
it does, I'm just glad that it's taken forever because all the.
I think it's gonna be announced this year.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
gonna be announced this
I
year.
hope so.
It is.
When
gonna
is
be announced
when
this
is
year.
Bethesda's conference again?
Sunday,
That's-
June 14th.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's a couple days before E3, correct?
A day before E3.
Okay,
Because
alright.
it's Monday and Tuesday. All the EA, all that.
Yeah, we
crap
got a
is
lot
on
to look
Monday.
forward to, and as we
Mhm.
said, Sony's definitely got to bring it because Xbox has a lot on their plate headed our way, so
Mhm.
Sony's got to bring their A game to E3 this year.
Speaking of Xbox, I have a question.
What's up?
Do you guys think that Microsoft will be announcing a VR headset? at
They already
E3?
did.
They already did.
Yeah, this augmented reality headset.
Does that have anything to do with the Kinect?
No.
Nothing.
That's
No.
surprising.
It's like a little
That is
visor you
surprising.
put on that you see like augmented. It's AR. It's not. It's like little hologram things.
Okay.
Hey, you haven't seen it?
No.
It's cool.
No.
It's pretty cool. I don't know if I think it connects to games and stuff. I don't know, but it like turns your room into stuff. Like it's really cool.
It's interesting.
Yeah, look it up.
Yes.
Did you see
Okay,
it?
I know what you're talking about now, but it is surprising it doesn't run through the Kinect because I feel like everything.
I don't know. It might.
that's
It might be
attached.
secretly there.